What's up, guys? Hey, this is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. Hope this video finds you doing well. And today, I have a very, very special guest for you today. I have Landon Mccarter. Would you say you're the CEO of Secure Agent Marketing?
You can call me co-founder. You can call me
co-founder.
CEO, whatever. Me and Cody run it together.
Well, because I knew I would screw up the title if I didn't ask, so I had to. So I've got the co-founder, Landon Mccarter of Secure Agent Marketing, who runs it with the world famous Cody Askins. So, Landon, thank you for being here with me today. It's a privilege. I really appreciate your time.
Dude, no, I appreciate you with the invite, man. I'll watch your content. You're very active online. Like, I feel like you're building your personal brand, and I'm for sure catching notice, and everyone else is too, man. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. We had Cody on this channel a handful of months ago, and I feel like every time I talk to one of you guys, I get a golden nugget that just helps me out dramatically. Like, Cody last year, when I first got to talk to him, he basically gave me the tip of putting our podcast on YouTube, and for some reason it didn't even cross my mind. I don't know why. It's just a blonde moment of mine. And it helped expand our reach on the podcast like tenfold.
Oh yeah.
And I think it speaks a lot to you guys. You guys run a lot of businesses. You guys do a lot of things. You sell leads. You help people build, run their marketing, build websites. You guys do so many different things. My first question, though, is talk a little bit about how you and Cody met, how you got acquainted. A lot of people probably don't know the behind-the-scenes story of that. Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, man. No, so Cody Askins obviously is one of my best friends. He's a really great dude. He was actually we both live in Springfield, Missouri. So he actually, has been building secure agent leads for, 4 or 5 years or so. I was building a digital marketing agency in Springfield, and Cody came to me because he wanted to run Google ads to try and get some more business. So I'm like, okay. So I ran his Google ads, and we started to build a relationship that way. I'll never forget it, man. I sat down with Cody, and I remember talking to him, and I was the founding partner of the largest digital marketing agency in Springfield.
Wow.
And I remember sitting there talking to Cody, and I remember being like, so, tell me a little bit about your business. How much do you spend on Facebook? And I'm expecting him to say like 10, 15, 20 grand a month or whatever. He's like, he gets his calculator out. He's like, I'll probably spend like 200 grand a month on Facebook. I'm like, what? I'm like, you're such a liar, dude. Like, why are you lying to me? Well, because obviously he was running all of his lead ads with Secure Agent Leads. And like I had, nobody knows who Cody Askins was in Springfield, Missouri, and I'm the largest digital agency in town, and I spent like less than half that. And I'm like, you're a liar, bro. And then the more I got to know him, the more I realized that like he was legit, man. And like he was a social influencer in the insurance space, and like he was doing the business that he was saying he was doing. And I was just like shocked. And then I had an epiphany. I really feel like digital marketing is such an important aspect of business. And one of the things that is happening in the digital marketing space is you really, really, really need to differentiate and niche down as a marketing expert, because it can go so much deeper than what I ever realized in a specific niche. In fact, Christian, I'll even tell you a funny story. I told Cody a long time ago, I said, there's only 2 industries that I'll never, ever do business in, and that's real estate and insurance. And now all I do is insurance marketing with Cody, man, but the reason was because I didn't understand the niche. I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't know how to get leads. I'm sitting here like, I just didn't get it. It's totally different. Insurance marketing is totally different. So the reason that I'm so passionate about what I do now is I understand insurance marketing. All I do is insurance marketing, and I really love it. And the reason I love it, I told you this before, insurance has the lowest barrier to entry to entrepreneurship that there is. Like, you can be a businessman in insurance as quick as getting a license, and it's
right.
So exciting. So I met Cody he just opened my eyes to this whole thing. Once I realized the opportunity, I came in, partnered with Cody. I sold my shares in my other business, partnered with Cody, and the rest is history, man. Now I would consider us the largest insurance marketing digital agency in the country. We got 30 employees. We're doing multi-millions of dollars of management fee business, and we're very, I would say, successful.
Yeah. I think that's easy, to say that you guys are the largest. And I think the main thing that's really, so I'd say a year and a half ago, I did not know the name Cody Askins.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was. And a friend of mine here in our office basically turned me on to him and you guys, and he was like, "You got to check this guy out." And I'm just like, that was my first reaction. He's like, he's the Grant Cardone of the insurance industry. I'm like,
that's what I've heard too. Everybody's.
I'm like, the fuck you talking about? And that was my first reaction was like, roll my eyes, but I had never seen a video or anything like that. So, then he plays a video for me. I'm like, he's good. You know what I mean? He's good. Like Cody has that magnetic sales trainer, persona a little bit, but I think it's just really interesting because kind of what I've observed of you is, you're the flip side of that, right? Like Cody's the guy in front of the camera, lot of energy, lot of, larger than life personality. And then behind the scenes, you're just, plugging away and trying to figure out how to make things work a little bit. Would you say that's accurate?
I agree. Yeah, man, totally. Like, a lot of people, like Cody he is extremely talented on camera. He does have that magnetic personality. Like one of the things too that Cody has that not a lot of people know until you get to know him is he is like the most humble and like nice guy that you will ever meet. Like he does not carry with him like this big ego where it's like, oh, Cody's in there. Now he's got to make sure everybody knows that he's the man. Like he's not like that at all. And he has like practically no enemies in this world, and he wants to keep it that way. And I respect the heck out of Cody, obviously, because I do business with him, in a very like, personal way. Most of our businesses are tied together now. And he's the man. And you're exactly right. Like I try to just be, there needs to be a back end sort of follow through with the actual brand, because it's not all about getting attention. It's also about maintaining that and building that business. So that's a perfect example of how we've done it.
Well, it makes sense. So Landon, I had a couple questions for you in terms of, we talked a lot today about brand building. Yep. For a new agent that basically comes in, let's say there's an agent that's a year in, 2 years in, they got 50 clients, 100 clients or something like that. Maybe they're doing life insurance, maybe they're doing Medicare, whatever the case might be. What is something that they could do today? A couple of things that come to mind that they could do today to kind of help them start out, at least the process of kind of growing that brand and getting some more attention.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you asked that because it's really important, because what that person needs to understand is that the competition in the market is a 50-year-old man that has no idea what the heck's going on. Like with this digital age, they might know marketing and Medicare, like they might know direct mail, seminar marketing or whatever, but they do not understand, I promise, digital marketing, building a site, getting content marketing, getting that engine moving. And so I would tell that person to build a foundation of a content engine. What I mean by a content engine is, let me ask you, let me flip it around. If you would recommend a new agent, what percentage of sales would you reinvest back into your marketing business if you could do it all over again? Let's just call it 20%, 15%, 10%. What's that number?
I mean, when I first got started, my living expenses were very low. I was living in some crappy apartment. So, I mean, I probably could have invested as much as 50% if I could go back and do it again. And I wish I did.
What would you recommend for a new agent?
Probably, I think that's a good number, 15%,
okay,
20%.
Okay. So that's the first thing that I'll tell these whoever's listening to this. You have got to establish a marketing budget. Okay. Do not try to throw things on the wall and see what sticks and buy this lead package and this lead consulting deal and this, all these other marketing ideas and like that's just flying around. Like you can try things and learn, but you got to establish a budget and spend that money consistently and learn. And if it's not working, adjust. And if it's not working, adjust. And you'll find something that works, So that's the first thing. I would say a recommended budget, in my opinion, would be at least $1,500 a month of marketing. Whether that's direct mail, or whether that's social, whether that's, whatever it is, just allocate that if you can. At the smallest amount, do $750 a month. But I would say $1,500 a month is a good start. Now, the reason I say $1,500 is that gives you enough budget to have something active. You could probably do some Google, YouTube with that if you wanted to. You could also do some social with that. You could also do enough direct mail drops. So you can kind of learn, what you're willing to spend money on and what gives you the best return. So that's the first thing, is get a dang budget. The second thing is dedicate yourself to what's called content marketing. Christian, you've done that. That's the reason we're on this call together, is because you and I are both content marketers and we are a part of each other's groups and we see each other all the time. And there's a sense of like people work with the people that educate them. So the days of like throwing up a TV ad or a billboard, not that that's a bad idea, but a starting agent cannot afford that at all. Like a starting agent doesn't need to be doing TV and radio and stuff. So what you should and can be doing is building out a content marketing engine. That content needs to live on a website. I don't care if you build your own website with Wix and Squarespace. I don't care if you pay somebody to design a website. I don't care if you pay a company like us to build a big website that gets found on Google. Just get a website. And then all your content needs to live on that website. So in my opinion, just put yourself together a strategy. Write, let's say 4 pieces of content a month, or shoot 4 videos a month, right? So 1 a week, create 1 piece of content. If you're selling Medicare, educate people on Medicare, all right? And then shoot that video, put it on YouTube, write a blog post around it, put it on your blog, chop that up into small pieces, share that to your social media, and you got a content marketing strategy. Just doing that alone, you don't have to spend any money. You can maybe buy a camera or whatever it is, but like that alone will make a difference. Like how many policies a week, or let's say a month, how many policies a month do you write off of your content marketing?
I would say for me personally with my own pen, it varies, but I would say, it can be anywhere between 5 to 20 a month, some months.
Yeah. So I know a guy that have you heard of Keith Armbrecht? He does Medicare on video on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's a client of mine. I do all his search engine optimization. We're getting ready to launch a big old deal for him. He'll probably write 80 policies a month off his YouTube channel.
That's mind blowing to me.
So Boomer Benefits?
Yes.
Obviously, everybody knows Boomer Benefits. Go look at their website. They're what I would consider industry leaders from a small business standpoint. They're like the biggest content marketing small agency that there is. There's like Medicare call centers like Medicare Bob and all these other guys, and eHealth are like a whole nother level. But down here is Boomer Benefits, and they are still writing 6,000 policies a year off that site, just the website. I mean, that's insane.
Incredible.
It's insane. So even a sliver of that market share is important. Now, let me give you like a quick little tip. So with your marketing budget, in my opinion, you should always separate your marketing budget into two pieces. One is your long-term strategy of your content marketing, investing in your content, and 2 is your short-term lead flow. In my opinion, the best way to spend your short-term lead flow is on Facebook right now, and build out some automations for auto text, auto emails, etc., and then invest in content. So if you have that $1,500 a month, spend $700 on content marketing and $800 on Facebook or whatever. But just do both of those things. Build a site, build a content machine, use your social for your short-term lead flow. And that's what I would tell any new agent. You probably wouldn't need more than $1,500 a month to prove the viability. And then you can scale from there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Now, another question I had for you, Landon, is what would you say to an agent that wanted to come right in and maybe try to learn Google advertising? I know we talked about this in the past, and you kind of, I think the message that I got from you is it's a different animal than Facebook. Oh, yeah. And that's been my experience.
No. It's a whole nother ballgame. Google AdWords is like a PhD. Facebook is like elementary school. Like you can go in, you can put together an ad, you can put together an audience, you can put together ad copy, you can let it run, you can spend $30. If you don't like what's going on, you can shut it off. Typically, like Facebook is like the easiest thing in the world to do at surface level. To master Facebook is a whole other ballgame, which I think you've done well at that. I think you got automations built out to your CRM and all that. Mm-hmm. But anyways, on the Google side, dude, you cannot be doing, first off, you can't be doing less than $250 a week of spend at least. And 90 days is what it takes to prove viability with Google. Google and YouTube are massive platforms, and they do have some machine learning, but you've got to go in and optimize those campaigns by hand. So the way that we do it is we'll take a budget, we'll build out, call it hundreds of keywords and different variations of ads. You let it run, let it spin. Those ads will start to separate themselves into 3 groups. You've got your low performing third that got clicks and no conversions. You got your middle performing third that got conversions at a low conversion rate. And you got your top third that got your highest conversion rate. It paid for the whole shebang. That's where all your policies came from. So what you got to do is you got to cut those bottom 2/3 of ads that didn't perform, and then build out another 2/3 of ads around the principles that caused the top third to succeed. You do that over and over and over again. That's called optimization. Mm-hmm. So by the end of 90 days, you should either be at the floor of your cost per conversion, which is cost per lead, or at least know where the floor is. So like with Facebook, you can find those numbers within 2 weeks. With Google, you're looking at 90 days with at least 5, 6, 7, 8 grand to spend, I would say, before you can even feel comfortable with what's going on. I've got clients right now that are spending $5-6 grand a week, and they have been for 90 days, and we're still like barely breaking even on our ads. But we're so important. It's so important for us to like get our YouTube, Google traffic and leads, because we got to diversify to Facebook. Because as you know, Facebook can shut your ad account down like that, and all of a sudden your lead flow stops, and you just got to diversify as well. So that's my opinion on Google AdWords.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh man, and then they'll re-enable it and be like, "Oh, sorry, we're sorry about that." And it's like, "Oh, great, you broke all my pixels, all my landing pages. I had to rebuild everything." It's just so annoying, man. Trying to run an agency with this. I even talked to my Facebook rep yesterday, and I'm like, "Dude, like I don't need help optimizing campaigns. I need help keeping my ad account, and all of our clients active, because we got clients that are getting shut down like all the time. And so do you. I know you've dealt with that. We've all dealt with that. It's such an annoying thing to try and run a business with, and we're trying to do the right thing with compliance. Like we're not doing anything that's uncompliant.
Right. I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is, when I first started getting more into the Facebook ads, we were doing exclusively lead ads for a while because they were just money. Like we were getting, at one point, I think the best campaign I got, last year was we were getting leads for like $9 a lead.
Yep, and you're in Utah too, which is a pretty expensive state.
Yeah, which that's tough to do, especially here. And it was going great, and then all of a sudden Facebook changed its policy and said we were violating policy. Nobody knew why. It took forever to get untangled. So I mean, it's just it's a pain. It's a pain, and so I think that diversification's smart. Yeah,
that's what Google, in my opinion, is. Also, it's what I would consider like the big boy budget. Like you've got to have, I say 1,500. Even that's like tiny compared. I mean, you really need to be spending. Like when Google rolls out new beta programs, they don't let you do less than like $5,000 a day. And that's just, that just gives you the kind of like players and pool that Google's messing with. It's a whole different ballgame. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it takes time and it's expensive. And I know people that have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars just to learn the platform and not even really cared about the money they've gotten back.
So you mentioned Medicare Bob. I talked to him a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Like we talked about earlier. And he told me something. He's like, I think it was in March we talked, or I don't know exactly when, but he's like last month, he's like, I spent $80,000 on Google ads, and it didn't work.
Yep.
I was like, and I'm like, I think I joked with him. I'm like, that's no big deal for Medicare Bob, right? And he's like, no, it sucked.
But he's learned it. Like, and I know Medicare Bob, and I know he's a baller, and he's got, there's ways that you can use carrier money though on some of these things to kind of learn Google. You can get special contracts that will pay you up front for some Medicare policies, so your cost per acquisition doesn't need to be as low to make money because you have a guaranteed blank check. There's some things that once you hit a certain level, you can really leverage as a Medicare professional.
Right.
So that helps some things, but in general, your cost per acquisitions in the first 90 days are going to be bloody. You just got to close your eyes and close your ears and just hope it goes.
Just ignore it. Curl up in a ball and don't look at it. And
it's part of it, man. If you think it's going to be different going in, then don't even do it. Don't even do Google. Just stick with Facebook.
Last question I had for you, Landon, because I know you're busy. I want to respect your time. What would be you think, if you had to pinpoint one or two things, what would be the biggest mistake you see agents make when they're trying to run ads?
Trying to run Facebook ads?
Sure. Yeah. Let's just isolate Facebook ads.
Biggest mistake I see trying to run Facebook ads. A lot of times what I'll see is people will not, like, there's a line to walk with the call to action that you need to try and, like, you got to have a strong call to action. And a lot of times when I see campaigns that are failing, a lot of times it's because the ad copy is so bland, and it's not like, it's like, something just very, very like bland. So like an example would be, there is a new Medicare Advantage plan rolling out in Greene County. There's exclusive information available. Learn more now, or something like that. Like something very like straightforward and apparent. Or like if they're running final expense, they'll run it from a page that's like final expense insurance extraordinaire or something ridiculous. And then they'll be like, this final expense insurance policy will pay up to, like $1 million or whatever they're going to promote. And they're almost like misleading to a point where they'll just kind of like that. And that stuff gets flagged immediately anyways as a scam. But I see a lot of people get shut down that way is because they try to make all these big flamboyant promises. And and you can't do that. And then also you
Yeah.
can't call out personal attributes at all, which people a lot of times don't understand, even on your video. So Facebook's going to transcript your video. And if you say things like, you are turning 65 in the next 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, you will get shut down so quick, and you'll try and figure out why. It's because you're calling out personal attributes. You cannot do that. If you give Facebook's audience, if Facebook sees that you're giving their audience like an indication that you know their personal attributes and are marketing to them specifically, they will shut you down. Like, for instance, if you're calling out moms or dads or attention women with children, you're a woman with a child, how would you like to do X, Y, Z? That stuff gets shut down. And then they're like, I have no idea why I got shut down. It's like, well, that's clearly against the policies and guidelines, So a lot of it is like ad copy. Also, people don't A/B test enough. I feel like, you wouldn't believe, we spend $1 million a month on Google and Facebook just on insurance marketing. And we've learned a lot along the way. And we couldn't have done that if we wouldn't have had literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different variations of ad copies and videos and images and combinations of the two. So that's what I would say. Usually the mistakes are ad copy wise, in general, just poor ad copy.
Well, makes sense. It makes sense. Landon, where can people find the Secure Agent Marketing YouTube channel, and how can they get in touch with you guys?
Yeah. So we'd love to have you guys over. Let me promote a couple things. One would be the Secure Agent Marketing YouTube channel. We just started that as an offshoot of Cody Askins' channel. So go follow Cody Askins, but also Secure Agent Marketing. We do marketing content specifically to the insurance industry. That's all we're really trying to do, is grow that insurance following. And really, we try and give a lot of valuable like videos. Like, we spent $1,000 on a Facebook ad and ran a 15-second, 30-second, minute, showed the results, just kind of talked about it, that kind of stuff. Also, I'd love for you to go over on Facebook, to go to a Facebook group I have called Advanced Insurance Marketing. Just come join us there. There's a good discussion there. Lots of killers are in that group, like lots of top tier. You're in there. You've got Justin Brock. You've got Matt Newman. I mean, lots of killers that are in the industry are having a dialogue in that group. So I'd love to join us there. And then also go to secureagentmarketing.com and reach out if you want to that way.
Awesome. Well, I will put a link to all of those down in the description. Cody's channel, Secure Agent Marketing, the Facebook group, all the above. So go into the description, take a look at it, check them out, join the group, subscribe to the channels. And Landon, thank you so much for taking the time. I mean, it's been a pleasure, and thanks for all the knowledge that you shared today.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate your time very much.
All right, everybody. Well, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, drop a like, drop a comment on what you'd like to see me talk about on future videos, and subscribe for future six-figure Medicare agent content. Take care.